Welcome back to Hidden Hilltop Homestead. Today I am working on quilts. Shocker, right? I am currently in progress with 2 fall quilts, and then I have a plan for another one I want to get started. It's the first week of October, so I'm really trying to kick it into high gear and get these suckers done so that I can get them sold before, fall's over. So sit back, relax, and watch me do some quilting and make some progress. Alright, here's what I have quilted so far. This one's going to be really pretty. This is like maybe a quarter of what I have to do total. So if you look over here at my project cart, the middle is the rest of the pieces that I need to get quilted. And then I also have a quilt ready to assemble on top. That's the one with the green back on it. So we have lots more to do. Alright, took a break on the quilting and decided to do the assembly. So this is row 1 for that green-backed quilt. So I'm probably going to try to get a few more rows of this done, and then maybe we'll hop on to something else. Stop it. Alright, just finished row 2, so now we're going to move on to row number 3. Alright, I'm calling it for tonight. I got 3 rows done, and then of course we got all those orange squares quilted earlier, so this is a good start. See you tomorrow. Alright, so I have a bunch of fabric sitting in bags that I need to go through and decide what I'm going to do with, if I'm going to put it away, if I'm going to keep it out and cut it up. So we're going to do that real quick this morning because it's driving me nuts, so let's get organized. So this stuff is a combination of things for a Grinch quilt. I'm going to do a Halloween Disney quilt, and then some of this is just stuff that I picked up because I liked it. I have a lot of Halloween fabric that I'm not even going to get the chance to use for this year. I might still make some stuff and try to sell it as like spooky quilts because people like that kind of thing. But this stuff I'm going to be using for a Halloween Disney quilt, and then that's probably the last Halloween quilt I'll do is this one and then the 2 I'm working on. And then I'm probably going to kick it into high gear for Christmas. I want to make a Grinch quilt and a couple Christmas quilts. And I also want to make some kids quilts, so like stuff that's crib size and would transfer to like a toddler bed. And I want to make 5 of those if I can by the end of the year. I feel like those would make great Christmas gifts, and I can do things in like Bluey or Disney, or I could do like woodland stuff. So there's like a lot of different themes that could go with baby blankets. And I feel like those would be a really quick sell too because they're going to be priced a little bit cheaper than my throw quilts. And if you're wondering where I got any of this fabric, it either came from Michael's, Hobby Lobby, or Joann's, and you can find it online. Okay, so I decided to start on this Disney Halloween quilt after I looked at all the fabric. I was like, all right, I gotta get this done. I want to make this year. So I'm currently cutting out the backing. It is black flannel. I'm doing 6-inch squares. I'm sorry, I can't talk. And I'm going to do 144 of these, and then I'm going to do 144 squares for the front of the Halloween quilting fabric, and then I'll do 144 batting. I have black batting I'm going to use for this, and hopefully that'll use up the end of what I have. So I'm just going to take some time and get all these squares cut, and we'll see how I'm feeling here after a while. I'm also wanting to get some sewing done today. Alright, all of the backing squares are finished, so now I'm going to go through the Halloween fabric and see if I need to pull anything out of my stash. I probably have enough in the new stuff, I won't need it, but I'm also planning on doing some sewing, so I want to do some quilting with that stuff, and then I want to work on quilt assembly. That is row 4 sitting on top of 3 rows. So I'd like to maybe get half of the blanket done today if we can, and then work on quilting. Okay, just got all of the front piece cut. We have A Nightmare Before Christmas, we have Winnie the Pooh, we have Mike and Sully from Monsters, Inc. This is probably my favorite. It's all the Disney villains. You got Hades, Ursula, Jafar, Maleficent, the Evil Queen, Cruella, all of them. And then this is like a cartoon version of the Haunted Mansion. So it's got the 3 hitchhikers, you got Madame Leota, and then just some other stuff that I'm not quite sure about. It's supposed to be like a haunted wedding thing. I'm not sure. But this is like the Haunted Mansion wallpaper print with an HM on it. I thought that was cool. And then we have Trick or Treat, Minnie, and Mickey in like a vintage color. And then this one's got Minnie, Mickey, Donald, and Daisy as well. And it's kind of similar, but that's okay. We have another Nightmare Before Christmas. This is like a tossed pattern, so it's got all kinds of stuff going on depending on which way you hold the square, because things are all different directions. I thought this was really cool. It's very realistic to the actual like clay animation part of it. And then we have another, this one's just a tossed fabric. This was just gray and black, very simple, but I thought that fit in here real nice. And then some black. Those are just 2 fillers, and pretty much everything else is a print. So it's a good selection. It's going to be a really cool quilt. I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting out all of the batting that I need for this one. And then we're going to work on quilt assembly and quilting after that. So I'm very motivated for today. We'll see how it goes. Alright, I ran out of pens. I got one left. So I'm going to give myself a break from the Halloween sandwiches. We're going to go work on the 2 fall blankets and do some kind of sewing. We'll come back to this in a little bit. Just finished row number 4 on the green-backed quilt. So I'm going to try to get 2 more done tonight. Maybe. We'll see. And then I also want to quilt a little bit more on the orange back squares because these have pins, and the more I quilt, the more free pins I get, and I can turn around and use those for my Halloween sandwiches. So we're just going to do some kind of sewing and quilting to round out the night. Alright, so I'm actually throwing in the towel tonight. I'm starting to get a headache, but this is row 5. So this is finished. I just need to attach this to the quilt. But progress-wise, we got all of these cut and pinned today. So those are good to start quilting, and then I need more pins to finish all those sandwiches. I need to attach this to the quilt. We have row 1 through 4 folded up here, and then 6 through 12 still needs assembled and attached. And then we have all of these sandwiches have been quilted, and I still have some left to do on that. I didn't get a lot of free time this week to sew, but I do have a lot of free time this weekend, so my goal is to get at least that Halloween blanket done and one of these fall blankets almost done. But thank you guys so much for watching this small vlog, and we'll catch you next time. I will have a lot more material coming up soon because I have a lot of quilts on the way. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time.